Hi, welcome back. I'm sure by now you've gotten into reading your textbook. I know I have. It's sort of that thing that you have to do. We're required to have text, and I hope you're finding it interesting. And just as I've mentioned earlier in a couple of the videos, that our text is sparse in a few topics and heavy in a few other topics. And so, yeah, what I try to do now is to add some articles that have come from magazines that I subscribe to, and you'll notice that I subscribe to a lot, and primarily business oriented, but I still get a few other magazines. And so, what I want you to do is to start thinking about, hey, these articles that you're going to be asked to read. And so, one of the things that I'm doing right now is sort of flipping to the article list for our Module 1 articles. And one of the things that you see right off the bat is an article about Amazon. Now, the reason I wanted to cover Amazon, not only because they're a huge corporation and very impactful on the internet and throughout commerce, but because a lot of you may, or some of you may be working at an Amazon facility and helping to distribute the products. And Amazon is located in San Joaquin County. And so I wanted to include an article that talks about Amazon and a little bit about their business model. They're certainly part of the changing scenery of retailing. So that Amazon article, I hope you find interesting. Next up, we have an article about thinking globally. And for me, the world marketplace is an exciting spot, and I want you to start to think about it because an organization, whether you're small or large, can really start to grow by thinking globally. We have companies in San Joaquin County that ship agriculture, and you might know of some, to Japan or around the world. And so we can be considered certainly a very important part of that global economy right here in San Joaquin County. Next up, I have an article about, is Mexico the new China? Now, it's a little, maybe a little bit older than you might like to think, but Mexico is going to be a part of our global economy and certainly a part of our thinking because they're our southern neighbor and a very big trading partner with the United States. So we have to be very sensitive to what Mexico is trying to do. Like any country, and this is the fact that I want to stress with you when you think globally, they want their economy to grow. Whether you're Vietnam, Mexico, France, wherever you might be, the idea is you want your citizens to be working. And I want you to think about how Mexico is trying to compete on the world market because it's going to impact us. And we want a strong economic neighbor in both Mexico and Canada. And so I want you to think about, is Mexico going to be another growing spot like we've seen with China? The next article is something about student debt. And the reason I wanted to put that in there is not to keep you from getting or incurring student debt, but to think about you managing student debt. It's become a major issue in the United States, and I've been reading recent articles about it, and it's now turning into a political topic. So I want you to read about student debt and consider not only the impact it has on our older population and how it might impact you in later years, but to think about how you manage your debt. And we're going to talk finance later in the class, but I want you to think right away about you getting into that mindset about managing debt. Because when you borrow something, you have to pay it back. We have then an article about where the web rules retail. And you might think about, hey, it's Stockton, but it's going to be around the world. And so it's going to give you an idea of how the internet is impacting businesses globally in perhaps a negative way as well as positively for some consumers. So I want you to think about, again, that global issue of the internet impacting retailing around the world. And then there is an article about the new worldwide worker. I thought you'd find it interesting, some of the jobs that exist around the world. As I'm stressing here, every country wants their economy to grow. And you'll be reading about how different workers in different parts of the world are finding a job. It's maybe a new job that they hadn't considered, but it's a job now that they have available to them in their efforts to try to become a very positive part of their society and go to work. And certainly that's part of our goal here in this class, is to give you some skills to help you become a productive part of our society and go to work after you graduate from Delta College. So I hope you find these articles interesting. I'll be coming back with the different modules to talk to you a little bit about a preview of the articles that are coming up. But hey, thanks for watching, and you'll be seeing me soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.